Welcome back. You're watching To The Point. Rahul Gandhi has formally written to the Home Minister accusing the BJP of the politics of revenge. He claims that in a bid to target him, the people of his constituency, Amethi, are being punished. It began with the cancellation of the mega food park last year in June, but now Mr. Gandhi claims it's happening across the board. Is he right? Or is this an unfair and outlandish accusation? Speaking on behalf of Rahul Gandhi is Congress MP and spokesperson Abhishek Singhvi, and on behalf of the BJP, its spokesperson and National Secretary Siddharth Singh. Abhishek Singhvi, in a letter that Rahul Gandhi has sent to Home Minister Rajnath Singh, he's accused the BJP-led government of practicing the politics of revenge when it comes to the cancellation of the mega food park in his constituency, Amethi. Now, this is strong emotional language for what might just turn out to be a simple, straightforward administrative decision. How do you justify this language?
Well, you have read the letter, Karan, I have read the letter. In fact, the language is, along with this phrase which you have rightly pointed out, also very cordial. And it points out that Mr. Rajnath Singh is also from UP, and it requires for the state of UP to generate over 35,000 employment. Something should be done about it. But yes, he has been upfront, because according to me and according to a lot of other people which he has expressed there, it reeks of a degree of vengefulness for the simple reason, Karan, that it is understandable. Every project has a problem, delay, inbuilt obstructions, external factors. Can you tell me one good reason why you come into power in 2014 and without giving it a chance, without waiting, without trying to fine-tune things? Let me assume for a moment there is this, that and the other. You straight away say, okay, this has been delayed, this is not off the block, without noting that your record, which Rahul Gandhi points out in the letter, shows that land is acquired in 2012, that gas is not a precondition. Give it another chance. Did you talk to the MP from Amethi to say that we are going to cancel it? It's irretrievable. Did you say on record on file the finding that it is so irreversible that you cannot even discuss with the administrative authority whether it can be retrieved? That's why he says that this is virtually a preordained thing. You come into power, you pick on Amethi, and this is petty. Ultimately, Rahul Gandhi doesn't lose.
Abhishek
Let me tell you.
Abhishek Singhvi,
People of Amethi rules, and the impression given is that.
Abhishek Singhvi, we're having a little problem connecting to Siddharth Singh. We'll get that line through in a moment's time. But let me put this to you. The truth of the matter is that this food park was first sanctioned in 2010. Secondly, you were in power for 4 years thereafter till 2014. During those 4 long years, your government failed to ensure critical things like the gas connection. Therefore, if the project has to suffer, it suffered because your government is to blame in failing to give the guarantees, to give the connections that were necessary. You can't blame the BJP.
No, that's a very important question you're putting, Karan. We are blaming the BJP for a cancellation, for burying it. On the contrary, the delay in the Congress regime shows that it was being objectively evaluated and that it was not being rammed down the throat merely because the Congress government was in power. But we never decided to cancel it. Today, the real point is simply this. 2012 land issue was solved more or less. Thereafter, letters showed that the gas issue is not a precondition. Let me for a minute agree with you and assume that there was a delay. How is it anywhere reflected that it is in the interest of the nation, the public of Amethi, Uttar Pradesh, that it is cancelled without giving a hearing, a natural justice?
All right.
Look, normally, I am opposed to you in politics. I will call you or call the stakeholders and say, let us look at alternative B, C and D to retrieve it. You haven't had the decency to do that. That's the short point.
All right, I've got Siddharth Singh with me. Let me go to him. Siddharth Singh, we're talking about the reasons why, in fact, this mega food park in Amethi was cancelled. Now, both Harsimrat Kaur Badal and Smriti Irani have separately claimed that the food park was cancelled because essential permissions necessary for its success had not been obtained during the UPA years. And in particular, they've cited transfer of land and the supply of gas at a concessional rate. Rahul Gandhi now claims that the letter Harsimrat Kaur Badal sent Rajnath Singh, which Mr. Rajnath Singh in turn has sent him, proves that this is not the case. So is land and gas just an excuse for the cancellation of the project?
Well, Karan, let me put this. Rahul Gandhi, when he raised the issue in the parliament, he certainly has a habit of not going into the facts and reading it, and therefore he raised it. Now, when he writes to Mr. Rajnath Singh, he also
Oh, we've lost you at that critical point. I am really sorry about that, because that answer is absolutely essential. It would explain, in fact, the key issue, whether gas and land were the cause for the cancellation of the project, or whether the cancellation of the project was for some other reason. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait till we get that line back to SN Singh to find out what the BJP's position on that critical issue is. Let me put this to you, Abhishek Singhvi. Harsimrat Kaur Badal has repeatedly said on television that the food park promoters had been given an assurance by your government that gas would be supplied at subsidized rates for the captive power plant to run the park. That didn't happen under the 4 years the UPA was there, which is why the promoters indicated they couldn't go ahead. So once again, I put it to you, if the key component on which their viability depends isn't made available by you, you can only blame yourselves. You can't blame the government that succeeds you.
Karan, I think it makes the very point Rahul Gandhi is making. The letter of Mr. Harsimrat Kaur, which Rahul Gandhi has quoted on those 2 points to Mr. Rajnath Singh, makes the point that with a delay, that land was solved in 2012, and sometime after that, it was clear that gas was not an essential issue. Now, who has given an explanation for cancellation? What the BJP is fudging, what the ministers are fudging, what their responses are fudging is, where on earth is there a proposal for cancellation? The promoters are asking for another chance, for a variation. The gas issue is solved or is treated as not a condition. Why not have an alternative or a variant?
But
you tell me one thing,
can I interrupt?
Make any attempt to make a chance
You're making a very
an alternative option?
You're making a very interesting but equally somewhat surprising argument. You're saying and you're conceding that there were considerable delays right through the years that the UPA was in power, but you're then arguing that those delays don't amount to reason to cancel the project. And the BJP's argument is precisely that the delays under the UPA, which were deliberate if not irresponsible, have made the project unviable, as a result of which the promoters themselves now say they can't carry on. And therefore, if the project is cancelled, it's because of the delays which happened under you.
Karan, it happens everywhere, as you know, in governance all over. First and foremost, it is of great doubt that the promoters have made it irretrievable, or they were given a chance to make it work in an alternative form. But leave it aside. It happens all the time that where there is employment generation in a project, alternative means are found even with alternative promoters. My short point is the BJP never reached that stage. In fact, there's a supreme irony, Karan. Just when it could have been possible to think of alternatives and allow this struggling project to get off the ground, the BJP killed it.
Now, unfortunately, we're in this very...
Please show the file. Where is the option on the file given? Let me challenge the BJP today.
Well, actually, I'm going to stop you there when you challenge the BJP, because sadly,
an attempt was made to look at alternatives.
I can understand you're wanting to challenge the BJP, but sadly, we still don't have that connection to Siddharth Nath Singh. What was intended as a debate between you and him is becoming an interview between you and me. Hopefully, Siddharth Nath Singh will join us back. Hopefully, our technology will rise to the occasion and save us. But let me continue with you while we wait for Siddharth Nath Singh. Today, Rahul Gandhi has broadened the accusation, so to speak. He's no longer simply now talking about the mega food park. He says that, in fact, across the board in Amethi, a range of schemes, including things like Enrega and the Indira Awas Yojana, have seen serious cutbacks. Now, he's provided no evidence of this. He's provided no figures to back up this claim. So let me ask you, beyond the rhetorical assertion, what's the proof?
I am very happy that you are raising this issue, Karan, because this is a much larger issue and you are rightly going beyond the food park. 3 quick points. One, and let's leave the food park now because we've talked enough about it and made my point. Apart from the food park, since 2014 when this government has come, first and foremost there is a general climate and ambience that everything about the Congress is bad. We are the BJP NDA, we are Mr. Modi. If we Everything about that is bad. We are going to criticize it, and anybody associated with that is going to be a pariah. That is even said abroad. You see the statement, I don't want to repeat, humiliating. But let me give you two specific examples. What was the Shanta Kumar committee, Karan? Somehow find a way to scuttle, change, alter, diminish the food security plan. It is the most blatant. Within few months of you taking power, you set up a committee. Instead of trying to enhance that food security, how to whittle it down. Number 3, Karan. Number 3, the Manrega. You know very well how many attempts have been made, first by executive statement, then by finance ministry statements, and then by various statements by ministers. Oh, Manrega is a failure.
Can I
we will
interrupt?
keep this much but not that much.
Can I
We will do it only for these projects and assets, not for that. It is because of our fierce opposition, Karan, that Manrega has still withstood largely the onslaughts upon it.
Can I put this to you? You're making a general point, and I want to once again say to the audience, I'm really sorry we don't have Siddharth Singh. That line to Siddharth Singh is still not with us, which is why we're continuing as an interview rather than a debate. But to come back to you, Abhishek Singhvi, you're making a general point in sweeping terms about the BJP. Rahul Gandhi made a specific point about specific policies being cut back in a specific constituency, Amethi. And I ask you, what's the proof that this has happened beyond a general rhetorical assertion by Mr. Gandhi? Because he's provided no proof and evidence.
No. I have given, see, number 1, there is a cutback on these two issues I've just told you. In one case an attempt, in one case an actual cutback across the country. Number 2, we will can get you figures about small projects. Every small thing in Amethi is being questioned, is being looked askance. He is making a political point. There is,
okay.
Is there in doubt that food security and Manrega, two showpiece schemes across the country, is not a narrow issue.
The truth about
And
NREGA
you know
is that
very well
actually government funding for NREGA has gone up from last year, and there's a potential for it to go up by another 5,000 crore beyond what it's already gone up. Those are budget figures that I'm quoting to you, which you have to accept, you can't deny it. So there's no cutback in NREGA.
Correct.
There could arguably be a small cutback in the amount of NREGA funds spent in Amethi, but Rahul Gandhi has to prove that. He can't simply assert it, which is why I ask you, when he talks about what's happening in Amethi specifically, he needs to prove it rather than assert it.
Let me assure you, I did not realize that you were going to ask me a Amethi specific question in terms of figures. If he has said so, he will have the information and we can get it for you. Number one. Number two, the figures have increased in the budget because it's inbuilt into Manrega as to what rate it increases every year. But what I am talking about is the numerous attempts made to say that no, we will limit Manrega. They're on record. We will limit Manrega only to this kind of activity.
Those are ideas from Shanta Kumar. They haven't been implemented. You can't really use them as evidence to prove your point. Those are just things that some MPs have said.
Evidence.
They aren't proof of action.
It is an attempt. It met. No,
it was a process of thinking about what to do with NREGA, which the government hasn't accepted and implemented. You can't now convert it into a decision that's been taken.
It is clear indication of malevolent intent.
I'm going to stop you. We've got Siddharth Singh. Forgive me, I'm stopping you, Abhishek. We've got Siddharth Singh. We need to go to him. We've only got him for 3-4 minutes and apparently he's on the phone. Mr. Singh, first of all, I apologize profusely for the terrible trouble we've had with technology today. Please accept my apologies. Please answer for me that key question, that the reason you've cited for cancelling the project, A, the failure to secure the gas connection, and B, the land approvals, were actually excuses. That the real reason is that, as Rahul Gandhi suspects, you want revenge on him and you're therefore targeting his constituency.
Well, Karan, let me first answer the last question of yours. Rahul Gandhi's incapability of serving the people of Amethi as a member of parliament is a reflection of his cover-up and rhetoric. Now let me get the facts clear. That if the Congress and Mr. Rahul Gandhi's letter to Mr. Rajnath says in 2012 there was in principle approval, let Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi and Congress answer. When you go to IMAC, in principle approval is required as a mandate, or is it the possession of land required? The possession of land was not there till 2014 when they demitted the office. Now, coming on the second question, Karan, the investor will come into the park on the basis
of a certain understanding on the economics of the project, and the economics of the project was working primarily on the basis of subsidized gas, which Congress and the leader, who is now claiming to be the champion and ambassador of the farmers of Amethi, unfortunately could not devote his time and energy to get the petroleum ministry to get from Jagdishpur to Amethi, which is not a very far distance. Mr. Rahul Gandhi may not know, but I know, coming from UP, it is just 35 kilometers from the site. He could have got that link, and the viability of the project would have happened during that tenure, and therefore the investor was not keen to go ahead. And lastly, Karan, in February 2014, the IMAC under the UPA2 met, and they decided to extend for the last time till 31st of March 2014. If they can meet all these criteria which are mandatory, they could not meet, and hence the cancellation was decided in February 2014.
Mr. Sarda Singh, let me ask you one question, and it's a simple question.
Yeah.
Why is it that just 1 month after taking over, Harsimrat Kaur Badal cancelled the project on the 30th of June 2014, ignoring the fact that the special purpose vehicle had actually requested an extension till the 30th of September to secure the outstanding approvals? What would have been lost if she'd waited those 3 extra months? This is the reason why people feel A, she was in a rush, and behind that rush was a desire to get vengeance.
It's not a question of rush. During the NDA regime, that the current regime, it was extended till 9th of June, and 9th of June became the cutoff despite 31st of March under the UPA2, but we extended till 9th of June, and on 9th of June they could not meet all the criteria, so finally it was communicated, maybe decision on 30th June, but finally it was communicated to the investors, to the group, on in July someday in 2014. These are the facts,
okay.
But the matter of fact is, why after getting in principle approval, the Congress or the investor could not? The real question is why the investor did not go ahead and take the possession of land, because the gas was not available, and that was the viability of the project.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to have to leave it there. Once again, my most sincere apologies to Mr. Siddharth Singh for the fact that we simply couldn't get that visual connection to him to work beyond the 10 seconds that it did. I'm really sorry about that. My apologies to the viewers, because as a result, what was intended as a Congress versus BJP debate ended up as 2 separate interviews. And there we end this particular episode. Goodbye. Good night.